Okay, you're on. It's Beyond the Brush.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another conversation with Beyond the Brush. We are going to be kicking off Black History Month. So happy Black History Month. I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and he black, y'all. I am very happy to be a black woman. We're going to be highlighting some of the black beauty icons throughout the industry over the years. And again, this is an interactive conversation, so feel free to jump in at any point and share your thoughts as well. And I just feel like we have got to give the Black beauty icons their flowers. Many of them have really been trailblazers and have inspired people like myself who are in the beauty industry now for like maybe, dang, almost 20 years. So I'm really excited to get into tonight's topic. Again, this is interactive, so please feel free to join in with the conversation. I am going to share my screen because we got to see these beautiful faces. Let's see. So we are going to start off with none other than Madam CJ Walker. This Black beauty icon was a trailblazing Black beauty entrepreneur who built one of the first major hair care empires in the early 1900s. Born to formerly enslaved parents, she turned personal hair loss into innovation, creating products specifically for Black women when mainstream companies ignored them. More than a businesswoman, she trained and employed thousands of Black women using beauty as a tool for financial independence and social mobility. Walker became the first self made female millionaire in the United States, proving that Black beauty wasn't niche, it was powerful, profitable, and transformative. Now, I know that she ain't got nothing to do with makeup, and I should probably stay in my lane. But I absolutely had to start off with this beauty because without her courageousness and taking a chance, because again, like it was mentioned in the synopsis, it wasn't available to us. And when they don't allow you to sit at their table, baby, you know what you got to do? Build your own and then invite others to be able to sit with you. So she literally built her brand with us in mind and became the first self-made millionaire. Like that is out of this freaking world. She built an empire when Black women were excluded from wealth, education, and business ownership. She didn't just sell products, but she sold economic independence specifically for Black women, which in turn was able to create things like schools, jobs, and a system, beauty as a pathway out of poverty and not just vanity. Now we have got to give it up for Madam C.J. Walker. We are going to get into some some amazing legends. I feel like one of the boomers right now is like, how do I switch the picture? Oh, okay. So we are. Does anyone have any comments as far as Madame C.J. Walker is concerned? Did many of you guys, has anyone ever heard of her? Have you had any like family
Yes,
who's ever
yes.
used any of her products or anything?
Well, I thought it was so appropriate that you started out with her. I think that was brilliant because, we really stand on the shoulders of this giant when you talk about not just hair care, and especially in that time,
Yeah.
there was a lot of marginalization, discount. Matter of fact, we were coming out of Jim Crow, or with the whole idea of
Right.
we couldn't even read. So I'm quite sure she developed a lot more than she's given credit for.
Yes.
And so I thought it was just brilliant that you, started out with the great, legendary Madam C.J. Walker. And not only that, she discovered and built so much, she was also such a dynamic entrepreneur because you could be a
Yeah.
very good, inventor, for example, right? A lot of people who
Mm-hmm.
invented things weren't necessarily entrepreneurs, but she really turned it into a economic machine that is very difficult even to duplicate today.
Yes. And to your point, I genuinely believe that there's probably a lot more that she should be given credit for. But back then, we didn't really know much about like trademarking and getting patents and
Right.
things like that. So there's so many things that were taken from us. But I'm so happy that she at least was able to get the credit for something as major as this. Anyone else have any comments before we move on? Because I got a good list for tonight.
Now, I was wondering, has there ever been, or do you know of, aware of any annual dedication to her? I don't know if her estate is around, or would you know if there are still people who protect her legacy through.
That's
Um,
crazy. I never even thought about that. Now
yeah,
that you mention it.
mhm. I
Yeah,
think it
I'm
would
gonna
be
have to do
interesting.
some
Yeah,
research. That is an excellent question. I genuinely don't know.
yeah. I would sure wonder if there is a, she has executors of her estate,
Right,
and there's a Madam C.J. Walker, annual event, that
right,
lifts up her
right,
name, but also usher in new emerging, talent in the area of hair, makeup, fashion,
right.
style, and commerce.
I've been to a few shows like Bronner Brothers, IMAX, makeup shows, and I genuinely have never heard anyone mention her. So that's definitely something that needs to change because without her, like we genuinely probably wouldn't even be here today as far
Absolutely,
as the beauty industry has gone.
absolutely. Thank you for saluting her and paying tribute to during Black History
Definitely, definitely. So we're going to keep the flow. And this next beauty icon that we are going to talk about tonight is Miss Danessa Myrick's Beauty. Now, I've actually had the absolute pleasure to work for her over the years. And if you go into Sephora, you'll see a lot of my work in there from on the gondolas and stuff. So I've had amazing opportunities to be able to connect with her and personally work for her over the years. Danessa is an innovator. She is the type of well, for those of you who don't know who Danessa Myricks is, before she became Danessa Myricks Beauty, she was I Make You Beautiful. And back then she sold this one kit. It was called the Bionic Lip Kit. And it was a glitter kit that came with some glue adhesive. And you would just put it on and your lips would be shining. And I remember seeing her years ago, like in the early 2000s at a Bronner Brothers hair show. And I had told her, I was like, one day when you make it big, I'm going to work for you. And when she made it big, she came and got me and I worked for her. But at that time, all she had was this one lip kit. And then eventually she went from I Make You Beautiful to Danessa Myrick's Beauty. And she had expanded her line with the first product being this thing called Color Fix. So when I say that she's an innovator, like she has taken color, things that especially growing up when you're especially darker complexion and melanated, people would tell you that you can't wear certain colors and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you should stick to neutrals. And she completely took that and did a 180 and was like, nah, if you don't believe me, just watch. And has taken color and slapped it on some melanin that looks like something that should be hung up in a magazine. So her first product was some color fix. And the great thing about it was when a lot of beauty brands are brought out, they're usually not created by people who have um, what's the word? Brain fart. Knowledge. There we go. Knowledge of the beauty industry as a whole. So she, being a makeup artist, was able to see color, products, and ingredients in a way that most beauty brands didn't. So this Color Fix product was her product that put her on the map because it wasn't just like color you can put on the lips. I have videos on my Instagram where I've used this little tube that comes in like probably 100 or probably over 100 different colors. I've used it as foundation to do my eyebrows, to do my eyelashes, for lipstick, for lip liner, for blush, for concealer. Like you can literally use it anywhere. And that is what truly makes her brand very unique. She stands out in a way that has the artist in mind. And she built her brand from the bottom up. I remember when she was like in a basement in the brownstone at one point, and now she has like this huge warehouse out in Long Island where everything is in house. And I think that is absolutely freaking amazing. And deserves a little finger snap because we like to
Absolutely.
give our Black beauties their flowers. Like for sure, she's freaking amazing, y'all. Her
Absolutely.
brand is really dope. And if you ever get a chance to check her out, make sure you check out her website, vanessamivixbeauty.com. If you're a beauty pro, you can get pro discounts, all of that on there as well. Has anyone ever heard of this brand? Or is this something that you all are like just hearing of for the first time?
You definitely put me on game.
Ah,
It's for the
nice.
first time.
Okay. Oh, we got my homegirl Tanika, fellow makeup artist in the room. Shout out to you. So
Shout out to you too, bro.
that is the Nessa Myrick's Beauty. So hopefully you guys learned something when it came to her, and we are going to move on. Do we have any questions, comments?
I kind of want to double back to Miss Madam. Her daughter did come back out in about 2013. I don't think it was like I don't want to say a big thing. I don't think a lot of people are sort of leeching onto it because of all of the other small mom
Brands,
and pop.
mainstream, right?
Right. I think during COVID, that was a good time for a lot of people to like really up the ante on the products that they're selling. So it's such a large basket or anything to
Yeah.
pull from. But her granddaughter did try and bring about out. So it is some product out there, but it's not like
Oh, nice.
mainstream. Yeah.
Okay, so for those who are needing context, the first person that we highlighted tonight was Madam C.J. Walker, and Tanika just informed us that her granddaughter did try to re-release some, or kind of come back out with some products, and we're not. Well, unfortunately, we're not hearing about it too much on the mainstream level. But I am going to do some research to see if it is still in production, and I'll try to do some reviews, and hopefully can be able to put this back out into people's hands, because yes, we have plenty of Black beauty icons, but baby, ain't nothing better than the original. Okay,
I'm telling
nothing
you.
better.
Right.
And it seems like
All
it
right.
would
So
be a lot, right? Because I mean, her name
right,
has so much capital in it, that somebody would, in her family or who's in control of her estate, would
yeah,
try to definitely build on that, just to keep her legacy alive. I think that's
yeah,
very important that we constantly remind folks of whose shoulders we stand on. There's so
absolutely,
many people who have done so much and got it out the mud and made it possible for us to do
Exactly.
some of the
yeah.
things we're doing today.
Especially at a
Exactly.
time where they're trying to erase us in the history that we have, it is very important to
Absolutely.
keep speaking.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I did find some research on it, and it's pretty interesting that is was geared towards dandruff and stuff.
Huh,
And now I think about it now, a lot of women having, I ain't gonna say women, but predominantly women having psoriasis. So I do think that that
right.
is a great thing. But what I wanted to touch bases on to kind of keep it still with Madam CJ Walker, but the reality that we're sitting in now, it was this big old thing in the past that she stole somebody else's brand when she actually worked for the original person
I
who came
remember,
out with the product. She just took what she learned from that product
and made it better.
and manifested it into you know, a huge thing for herself. And I think that a lot of people in this day and age, especially in the artistry world, they feel as though when you do something that somebody else did, that you're like stealing what they did, but we're really not stealing it. We become inspired. I mean, if somebody asks for a look, you're going to try and do it the best of what that person did. But if you don't want to do the same thing, you can still do what they did and just
Yeah,
maximize
honor
it.
it
So
anyway. Yeah.
just honor it anyway. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I am going to look and see if there's anywhere that still retails her products, or if they have their own independent website, and see how we could be of support, because I
I'm
did
looking
not
now
know
since
that
I'm
it was
still
still
at
in
this
production.
computer.
If you
I'm
find the
looking
link, drop
now.
it in the comments in the
Sure
chat.
will, but it does plainly say her name is still protected, respected, and still earning money. So
That's what we need to know. Okay, wonderful. That's the
Beautiful,
most
beautiful.
that's
important
what it
part.
says. Come on.
And they I also want to say too. A lot of times, you know, they get the narrative wrong because they're always trying to distort our icons,
Yeah.
make them seem janky, or make them seem as though that they were underhanded and stuff. I
Uh-huh. Or
can't imagine.
uneducated.
Right, I can't imagine during the 67 to the early 1900s, where an African American woman, foundational African American woman, was an entrepreneur. People don't talk about her philanthropy, but they're going to talk about
Yes.
the things that she did, or that she was actually a social activist, especially
Right.
working with women's
Absolutely.
rights.
Yeah.
And so, she was to me the first self-made female millionaire. Today, her estate
Absolutely.
would probably be worth billions.
Yeah. I didn't know a lot of this information until I watched Self Made because, again, when you're in school, they'll highlight the basics, but they don't go in depth and really tell you how great, our people really are. So if you get a chance to, somebody just commented it, watch Self Made on Netflix. I promise you. I mean, it's Black History Month. You got to watch it. You got to watch it.
Yeah. But thank you.
Okay, so her name, I'm sorry, her name is still Madam CJ Walker Beauty Culture, and ironically, it is sold in Sephora, Amazon, and Ulta.
Uh,
What?
That's what it says. And it just repositioned as a premium texture hair care, specializing in curls, scalp serums, hair mask, and oil. So that's pretty
that's
dope.
wild.
That's pretty dope.
Oh,
That's
okay. I
pretty
got. I
dope.
mean, I'm bald headed than a mug, but I still got. I'm gonna moisturize my scalp. Okay, do it for the culture.
Horticulture.
Okay, so I hope we all learned a lot now. So we were able to see the blast from the past and the from through the eyes of Madam C.J. Walker, and then we got the new age inspiration through Vanessa Myrick. So again, like I said, this is why I had to pay homage to her first because without her bravery and courageousness, like a lot of these icons that we have today wouldn't be able to have the
Right.
platforms that they have. So
And
we
be
got to start with
innovative
the great.
with it.
Absolutely.
So it's not just buying something from China and dropping a palette. Danessa Myrick goes full force.
Yeah. That's a makeup artist for the artist. Like her brand was made with the makeup artist in mind and being able to play around with texture and color and see things in a way as truly as art and not just I'm doing makeup for some money and I'm gonna go buy me something to eat, give me some crab legs tonight.
Right.
It's just
Right.
so deeper than that. And I'm so
It
honored that we
is.
have so many black beauty icons that have been able to set the stage and really pave the
Yeah.
way for artists
Paved the
like
way.
ourselves. Yeah.
Because at this point, friend, it really is a science.
It is. It truly,
It's a
truly is.
science.
It really, really
Like the
is.
the product that back in the day you would be able to decipher what to mix, what can go with what, but nowadays
Yeah.
you really have to understand the product. But that's all I got.
Oh, yeah. So, with that, we're going to segue into our next icon. And this is another makeup artist that I have had the privilege to be under. And this is Sir John. If you don't know
Clap for that.
Sir John, he is the makeup artist behind a lot, maybe 95% of Beyonce's glam.
Yep.
And he's worked on many celebrities throughout the years, but Sir John is known for his like clean red carpet, classic, timeless beauty. And honestly speaking, before I started with Sir John, I should have started with Sam Fine and AJ Crimson, but that's okay. We're gonna go a
Mm.
little bit out of order tonight. But Sir
Right,
John
right.
is basically like the new age. I don't want to say new age because don't let this fine man fool y'all. Okay, he is up there in age, baby. Okay, he pushing it. All right, but
He a
he
man of
has
a certain
really
age?
built. He kind of acted like a bridge between like the editorial.
Did we lose
Hello?
someone's audio? It seemed like it
I
just
was about to
dropped out.
say, yeah, I was about to say, did we lose it? Uh,
I don't know. She's still in the room. Maybe her microphone unplugged.
Probably.
But this is great. I mean, I've never even seen this gentleman. I didn't know that he worked with Beyonce. This is a real education for me. I am absolutely enjoying the sharing of this information. And it's fascinating because it's something that I thought that I probably wouldn't be interested in, and it's like one of these things. I said, "Wow, oh really? Oh, this is interesting." You know?
Yes, Sir John has worked with some of the finest celebrities out there, and his signature is beyond. He doesn't try and do too much. It's like a cross in between a good Sam Fine and what's his name? Oh, he done passed away. What's the guy name? I'm having a brain fart myself, but he does a lot of editorial work. Been with Beyonce for, I want to say 15, almost 20 years now.
Wow.
He prefers, I guess you could say, glow over matte, skin over coverage. He's not much of a sculptor in the makeup field. He likes soft, polished looks, but still yet unbelievable. He assisted under Pat McGrath. So that right there, because Pat McGrath to us is like the creme de creme. She's like, you know, of makeup artists. She's going through some things now with rebranding her brand, but if you've had the chance to work under Pat McGrath, that is definitely a plus for anyone. And I think the crazy part about this makeup world is that you don't even have to be certified. Like I've learned, I am certified, but I realized that it didn't get me far. Certifications and makeup because we don't deal with the underlining of the skin. But needless to say, his work, Pat McGrath's work, is insane. The editorials are precision like no other. The runway is like, BMW Fashion Week or Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. That's the, top of the line. And my friend had the opportunity to not only work with him for Fashion Week New York, but he called her look out as the look of the night. Like she nailed the look amongst other makeup artists that were a part of the show. So
hype me up.
I just want to fill in for you real quick.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry, y'all. Zoom just was like, nah, get out of here and just kicked me off. So my sincerest apologies for that.
Let me give you back the controls because it kicked the controls.
Right.
Okay. Are we going on break soon?
Yes, and exactly. Oh wow, 60 seconds. We're gonna go for.
Okay, I felt it. I felt it in my shundo.
And we'll be right
back. Shundo.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Thank you.
You got it.
Yes. All right.
I filled in for you, friend.
I appreciate it.
It was, the little sunset. See, I'm up today.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and whenever I want to listen to something profound and I'm having a moment, I go to GoPro Radio, the fastest growing network in the galaxy.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a great opportunity. If you have an event, product, business, talent, and/or something important to say, now is your chance. You can have your very own radio show. Whether you're just starting out or a veteran looking for a professional platform to enhance your presentation and following, the GoPro Radio Network is the premier place to cultivate and share new and exciting content. We can help you grow your audience and keep it growing long after your first broadcast. Now you have a voice. Call 646-415-0990 or go to www.goproradio.com. That's www.goproradio.com. You'll be amazed at how easy and affordable it is to have your own professional radio show on the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
Out of centuries of adversity, from stolen labor, stolen wealth, stolen time, a legacy rises. Afro Crypto repurposes the copper manila, a West African currency, to forge a new movement. Limited edition merch, cultural currency you can wear, history reimagined. Owned, not borrowed. Exclusive NFTs with real perks, access, community, power. This isn't hype. It's heritage on the blockchain. Afro Crypto isn't just digital art. It's reclamation. It's ownership. It's the future rooted in the past. From currency to culture Decode. Join the movement.
Welcome to Lydia's Lyrical Lounge, a sonic sanctuary on the GoPro Radio Network, where words breathe, melodies testify, and emotion takes center stage. This is not just a show, it's an experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Lydia's Lyrical Lounge.
Welcome to the GoPro Radio Network. We're the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio. Listen to the voices in your head.
I know I do.
We're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So if you are just
We lost your audio.
beauty, as well as we were getting into Sir John. So just to kind of go back and give you a little bit more history on Sir John, we are going to just take it back. Let me pull the picture up. There we go. So really quickly, Sir John has worked with, well, let's start over, right? Let me give him his full flowers. Sir John is a celebrity makeup artist celebrated for his clean, intentional, skin-forward approach to beauty. His artistry emphasizes technique, preparation, and balance, bridging editorial, celebrity, and everyday makeup. Known for redefining modern glamour through precision rather than excess, Sir John represents a shift toward elevated, thoughtful beauty rooted in skill and not trends. And for those of you who may not be familiar with him, he has worked on some of the greats such as Beyonce, Naomi Campbell, Serena Williams, Joan Smalls, Carly Kloss. Like anybody you could think of, he probably been there.
And worked under Pat McGrath.
Yes, he absolutely has worked under Pat McGrath. And they're just so freaking dope. If you would love to see any of his, I highly recommend going on YouTube and looking him up and just searching for some of his interviews. Like the way he speaks, number one, puts you in a trance. But he is just so knowledgeable and so soft-spoken. And like Tanika mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to work with him a few times for Fashion Week a couple of years ago. And I remember at one point, we all were working, the music is bumping, and everybody's like doing their faces, and we just hear this loud voice, "Who did this?" And we all turned around, and y'all, I saw my model standing up there, and my hands got to shaking like a stripper sitting on the front row of church on a Sunday morning. When I say at first I was afraid, I was petrified. I was so horrified. But he lowered his tone, dropped his shoulders, and he said, "This is it. You nailed it." I have never seen anything more breathtaking. And at that moment, I was like, I'm about to feel like Trump because I'm about to saw my pants. It was probably one of my most iconic moments throughout my entire career. So I am truly grateful to have been in his presence and can say that I have worked under him. Like, I don't take that lightly at all. And with that being said, does anyone have any questions, any comments before we move on to our next person?
Yeah, he started with L'Oreal.
Huh?
Yes.
He started with L'Oreal.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, think of L'Oreal almost like Amazon. There's a lot of brands under the L'Oreal umbrella.
Yep.
Did anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, you mentioned another person, Pat, somebody.
He's the next one on the list.
Okay.
Yep. Miss Pat McGrath. Let me pull up her photo. 1 second. And Pat McGrath, once again, is another icon in the industry that I have the privilege to say that I worked for.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me a beauty hoe just a little bit. Let me tell you, I be outside and I get around. Listen, I like, especially when they black on, they look like me. I like to be in the mix, honey. So let me pull up Miss Pat McGrath. She is, first of all, she's British, okay?
Yes, she's
She
British.
is very, very much British. And she right now is, I heard Tanika mention it earlier, is going through bankruptcy. But prior to that, she has built this entire brand from the ground up, Pat McGrath Labs. I'm going to pull up what year she started. Give me 1 second. But I did get to work with her. I think it was in 2023 for one of her events.
She started in the 90s.
Yes, I'm trying to get the exact year. So, Pat McGrath is one of the most influential makeup artists in history and a global force in beauty innovation. Rising from backstage artistry to international dominance, she reshaped runway and editorial makeup with bold pigment, experimental textures, and an unapologetically artistic vision. As the founder of Pat McGrath Labs, she became the first Black woman to achieve billionaire status. She was the first woman to achieve billionaire status in beauty, proving that Black creativity doesn't just belong in the room. Baby, it leads the room. So remember earlier, this is why, once again, I had to start off with Madam C.J. Walker. She was the first self-made millionaire in beauty history. Now we got Pat McGrath that said, you know what? I'm about to be my ancestors' wildest dreams, and I'm about to be the first self-made Black beauty billionaire. And she did that. And she has paved the way for others, like we talked about with Danessa Myricks and AJ Crimson, Sam Fine, Sir John. Like, we have so much excellence within the Black beauty community. And although we may be very small in numbers, there is no getting away from the fact that our impact is extremely major. Has anyone ever heard of Pat McGrath? Y'all ever shopped at her products? A lot of the brands that I mentioned as well, for those who have beauty brands, and select Flora, Ulta, we highlight her. McGrath is currently filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But on the flip side, because we ain't going to act like sis ain't do that, she has currently taken on the head role as the new creative director for LVMH. So I personally believe that it just may be a conflict of interest to be able to run her own beauty brand while, running this one as well. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm just speculating, allegedly. But either way, we do want to wish Pat McGrath all the best in her future endeavors and thank her for being the voice and really paving the way for future Black beauty creators, innovators, and artists. So shout out to you, Mother Pat.
Right. And it's not her bankruptcy, it's the business itself.
The business,
but
right.
It's so many intricate details to it that,
yeah,
I hope this was the best decision for her.
Yeah. Now, the great thing about her filing, I believe, is Chapter 11 was just still be able to pick it back up if she decides to. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right. It's restructuring the move to recognize debts and then try to get the business back on a solid footing.
Right. Okay. So I'm quite sure this is hopefully, until her time and contract with LVMH is up and she can go back to creating her brand.
Right. But it does say that a lot of her branding went into presentation, which her presentation, 12 colors for $125. The colors are worth it. It wouldn't be like your everyday palettes. None of her motherships. And I have about 5 of them. It wouldn't be I only use them for my brides and elite clients. Exactly.
Yeah. And a lot of people were complaining about the fact that her products, especially for a brand that was in Sephora, and honestly, for those of you who don't work, I've worked in Sephora for several brands, and the way that they set their stores up is the brands that sell the most are put in the front as soon as you walk in. So the further
Right.
to the back to the register you have to go, the least that brand is selling. So in the few stores that I've worked in, Pat McGrath was typically always in the middle. And again, when you're in a store that's surrounded by such lower price points and you're not dealing with people who see the value as opposed to the cost, it can be very hard, with the
Right.
competition. But even so, a lot of people would try to argue and say that, she wasn't selling just because, her products were that much money. But I, as a Black woman, will never say that her products were too expensive, because if
No.
Dior can be out here selling foundations for what they sell them for, and YSL
Right.
can sell their perfumes for what they sell it for, I will never tell a Black woman who sat there and built her business and became a self-made billionaire what the heck
Right.
she should be doing and what she should be charging. No, I
Right.
need to sit at your feet and figure out how you did it.
Right, because YSL serums are still going for
And we
$200 to $400. Do
still
we even
buying
talk
them.
about it? Right.
So definitely, we
Wait,
have
wait, wait.
to.
Can you say that again? What's going for what?
YSL.
Their
There's
face serum. I have one that's for $400.
What?
right.
I'm in the
Yes.
wrong business.
Exactly. Listen, let me tell you something. Beauty
Right.
is money.
Wow.
YSL is their serums are very expensive, and it's crazy because I like to go down a lot of rabbit holes. And crazy to be said, I don't know if it's Maybelline, L'Oreal, one of them, their serums so far as for the skin is better at $38 than it
That
is
part,
for a YSL
yeah,
serum.
that is the absolute truth.
I
That
think
is the
maybe
absolute
people
truth.
misconstrue how much good makeup really costs. And you have your mediocre, you have your independence, you have your luxuries, and the luxury is costly.
Yeah,
And for makeup artists, it's
definitely
even
is.
more because we need at least 6 to 8 colors.
Mm-hmm. And this is why,
Yeah,
like I said before, there's no way that I would tell this self-made billionaire that, oh, your palette should be cheaper so that people could afford it. No, she set her prices according to the amount of money and time and effort that was put into the formulation of her brand, her packaging, whether she has to pay people, whatever it is she decided to do with that money stacked in a pillowcase and swing it at people who walk by. That's her business, because she
right,
could do that. That's her
right.
business. So I give her flowers while she's still here to smell them, because if all the things she did was that. And with that being
Yeah,
said, we're going to move on to our next person. If y'all have any comments or anything that you would like to add, please feel free to join into the conversation. And y'all know I got ADHD, so when it's time for the break, y'all let me know. Just let me know.
right. The serum that you got, friend, you got the Beauty or Rouge is $440.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that, she pricey.
she pricey.
So this is why
That's
we got
just
to allow, when it comes to us, we got to stop expecting things to be affordable and discounted just because the owner is Black. Like we
right,
have to see value and luxury when we look at our Black beauty brands as well.
right.
And moving on to our next one,
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul, we are going to be, I know, we are going to be talking
AJ.
about the late, great AJ Crimson. I have sat at his feet and under his tutelage over the years. I mean, several times whenever he had a class out here in New York City. I've even taken one of his classes in California like years ago. When I say an icon, so let me give you a little bit of background about our dear friend AJ Crimson. AJ Crimson is a makeup artist and educator who challenged, why am I getting emotional? The
Mm,
industry's lack of training around deeper skin tones and complexion theory. He centered education, color science, and undertone knowledge at a time when many brands and beauty programs fail Black artists and consumers. I'm sorry, y'all, but that was my friend. Through
Mhm.
it's
both
okay.
artistry and entrepreneurship, he helped normalize the idea that melanin rich skin is not difficult. It just simply requires the proper education and respect. For those of you who may not know, AJ Crimson is no longer with us. He passed away March 30th of 2022.
Yep.
And when I say he was one of the most kindest souls his education was out of this world. I remember the last time that I saw him in person, it was at the makeup show. I think it was 2021, because Tanika and I were actually expecting to see him at the makeup
Right.
show in 2022. And then a couple of weeks
Too.
later, he was gone.
He's
And
gone.
the way he pours into you, like, this is someone you can tell had the heart to say, I want to die empty, because he never held back when it came to sharing. And I can say this boldly about any of the people that I've spoken tonight, with the exception of Madam CJ Walker. But if you were around for like the Clubhouse era during the pandemic, we would spend hours. I used to host rooms that would start at like 9 a.m. and we wouldn't get off sometimes in like till like 6 in the evening. I got babies tucking like, Mommy, we hungry. Like, when I said we would be on there, it would be myself, Danessa, AJ Crimson, Shelly Tagger, like any beauty icon you could think of that could be in the room. And they gave so selflessly. Like, he would get up on that stage and be like, "Yeah, foundation dry because X, Y, and Z. Do this instead. Use this product instead. Here's my try and true. Don't do that." Like, there was no gatekeeping. And that's one thing that I genuinely love about the Black beauty community is the fact that they want to die empty. They understand that we are far and few in between. And sharing the knowledge that they have doesn't mean that someone's going to run off with it and become better than me. It means that at the end of the day, when they close their eyes and people think that that name has to die, that lives through each and every one of us. And because of that, for generations to come, we'll be able to continue to speak Madam C.J. Walker's name, Danessa Myrick's, the Sir Johns, the Tanika Greens, the N.I.S.J. Beauties. Like, we'll be able to be a part of history. And I am just so very grateful for each and every one of these amazing icons that has so selflessly given throughout the years in the beauty industry and have poured out their entire hearts and have been so vulnerable. Like, you have no idea what it takes. People see the glamorous side of this industry, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to making something beautiful and allowing the world to see your art in the way that your heart sees it.
Right.
And we don't want to take any of that away. So to all of them, we thank you and we honor you.
Right. But I will say it's a difference to piggyback off of you with Morel Morales.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
I think it was really sad to see that the greats who we feel are the greats did not attend his funeral. And I
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
And the only person that I can say that so far as that name ring bells would be Morel Hollis. He was there. It was a lot of hairstylists there, but it wasn't like, I don't want
Yeah.
to get into names, but it wasn't like the mainstream makeup artists who you see today all over the internet that was there to support him.
Yeah.
I can't say whether he had a private viewing. I can't say that because it wasn't a memorial, like the casket was there,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't open. But there was no names in the
Yeah.
building. It wasn't even like full to capacity. So that was a little disheartening to see, going to that funeral
Yeah.
and seeing that. But the people who were there had some amazing words to say about him. I think that the death was still very a lot of speculation as to what happened, a lot of
Yeah.
questions as to why it wasn't an open casket. But I'm happy because you did encourage me, and I drove them 10 hours.
Yeah.
But I did go to pay my respects for the both of us
Yeah.
and for anyone who couldn't make it.
Yeah, definitely. When I
Yeah,
say his death wrecked the beauty industry as a whole,
it
it was
did.
just so. We all were at the makeup
We
show, and
didn't believe
normally,
it.
yeah,
We
he
didn't believe it.
usually
We was
has a
like, this can't
booth.
be true.
Yeah, he normally would have a booth and be scheduled to teach at the shows and things like that.
Right.
And when we didn't see him, and everyone was asking, and then within a couple of weeks, it was just like he was just gone.
Yeah.
He was just gone. So
Yeah.
rest in peace, sleep in peace to our good friend AJ.
AJ
Um,
Crimson. I wonder what they did do to his product. Because remember, he had that product about to launch.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if his brand is still in production or being sold anywhere. We haven't really heard much since his passing. So hopefully
No.
they don't allow, the brand to kind of fade away, because his products are excellent. If you're a pro artist or even just the everyday consumer and you want to have a foundation that has amazing coverage but still looks very skin like, his products will do that. They're not cheap, but they
No.
are absolutely worth it. If you buy the single pans, yeah, they're pretty affordable, but If you do get the chance to get your hands on anything from his brand, I highly recommend it. Host, please let me know if you guys have any commercials to run before I keep going.
No, go ahead. 'Cause I think at 8:30, the Red Show starts.
Okay.
So
I know
you have about what's this? 6 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Such a tragedy. Wow, my heart's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, from what
The
they're
website is
saying, he
definitely not up
drowned.
no more. Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying he drowned, but we're not going to get into all of that because I'm not trying to get sued. But to us, it's just a
Right.
little, you know,
Suspect. That's all.
yeah, it's
A
very
little sus.
suspicious.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But his website is no longer up. And his product
Really?
seems to be going for like 60% off, is what the internet is saying.
Man.
So that means that the pencils that he
They're
did,
coming out
the
with, yeah.
liners didn't even come out.
Man.
And Sephora still has some lingering products.
Right. Yeah. That's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, Jay.
It is.
Well, since we have time, I want to highlight the final person for this episode. We are going to talk about Mr. Sam Fine. I thought I had his picture. Hold on, I don't. Let me get that. Hold on. So for Mr. Sam, he is a legendary makeup artist known for elevating Black glamour at a time when the industry lacked products and respect for deeper skin tones. He mastered complexion, undertones, and soft glam artistry on melanin long before inclusivity was a conversation. His work
Come
on
on.
some of the most recognizable Black faces in entertainment helped redefine luxury beauty and prove that Black skin deserved the same nuance, range, and refinement as any other. Let me save this photo because let me tell y'all how Sam Fine was the first person I've ever had the opportunity to sit down and take a class with, and that education was second to none. And I just want to say for all of the pros, no matter what industry you are in, understand that you have to invest in yourself and invest in yourself with people who are where you aspire to be. Don't look at them and be like, oh, well, they show off. Maybe they worked hard to be able to show off, and I'm trying to be like them. So make sure that you are investing. I know that Instagram has tons of makeup artists that will offer you classes and things like that. But if you have the opportunity to sit at the feet of any of these icons, I highly recommend that you invest in yourself, take the risk, and make the investment. Like real talk. Sam Fine, we're going to wrap up with Sam Fine. We got 4 minutes. So he has worked with some of the most iconic Black entertainers and public figures, including Tyra Banks, who he helped define polish, aspirational Black beauty in mainstream media. He's also worked with Oprah Winfrey, and we know her makeup to be more clean, elegant, but balance, authority, and that kind of like approachability. Because you know Oprah always had the bust down with the blowouts, right? She was that girl. And speaking of hair, he's also worked on none other than the Queen Latifah. We all know that her hair and her makeup always looks like, whether you pull a picture of her from the 90s and show it today, you can't tell that the makeup is so dated because he has mastered this timeless, clean, classic makeup that can be carried throughout time periods and generations. He's also known for his work with Vanessa Williams and Iman. And one of his most famous radio takeaway lines is, you know, I don't just do makeup. I help define what luxury Black beauty looks like in rooms where we weren't centered. And that truly is what his brand has been about. So we want to honor Sam Fine, one of the greatest beauty educators in the industry. And honestly speaking, all that were mentioned tonight have amazing educational beauty platforms that you all can learn from. Many of them do offer this education for the free as well. Because one thing I will say, the difference between a lot of the older beauty leaders as opposed to now is that they want you to surpass them. They will put all the information out there at your disposal, and it's up to you to figure out what you're going to do with it. So huge shout out to everyone mentioned tonight. And shout out to all of you, whether you're in the beauty industry or not. If you are doing anything to make a difference, shout out to you. You are Black history as well. Yes, we will honor those that have come before us, but understand that you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. And there's going to come a point where each and every one of us are going to be listed in somebody's history books, whether it's in a
Right.
textbook, in a magazine, in an archive website, in a museum. Your work is going to be seen for generations to come. So every time you create, please always keep that in mind. I'm going to turn it back over to the host. I want to thank you all so much. If you have any other comments, please feel free to leave them down in the chat.
One last thing, that Iman's smoky eye, that's classic. So when we talk about the smoky eye from Iman, that's Sam Fine.
Yes, he
That
is
is
known
the
for that
classic smoky eye.
smoky eye.
Wow, an exceptional program. I can't even tell you, I learned so much today. That was Beyond the Brush, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to join us next week. She will return, and you'll get some more of that information. Powerful, powerful stuff here. Next is the Red Show. You don't want to go anywhere. You're tuned into the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. And we'll be right back after a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Since I first saw you, and I will always love you, and I will always love you. I have loved you since I first saw you, Baba. Sabonga, we thank you, Mama Usikolele, and now it has forgiven.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.